welcome to another race weekend. Ultra Pro is on pole here. Dave Sankara P2. We have Zach Wilson P3. I've got a new championship leader at P4. Tom Leon after a bad race yesterday P5. BDS in 6th. Omar after a very good result 7th. We've got Fernandez, Versio and UK Ball rounding off the top 10. Jonathan Sim rounding off the top half. And starting at the bottom half, got Raven and Ina Bowers 12 and 30 respectively. Then we've got Daniel Balsarov, Jonathan Benedetto, Royce Maxwell after a pretty good qualifying. Sebastian Cabo, not a good one for him. Then we've got Nick Leon, M4, Van Horn, Sierra and Rules. Here we go, 5 red lights to another Grand Prix here in Italy. Slides out and away we go. And obviously a good start for anyone on the soft tyres. The mediums are not going to work as well in the run towards the first corner, as Wallace is already up into P2 in the Alfa Romeo. That is a very good start for the Alfa Romeo driver, who almost set it on the goal. He decided not to in the end, but it was close. And many drivers going off the track. Yellow flags out. And Ocampo has hit St. Maximin, and there's a car who's, he got damaged. It's Jonathan Sim. You see the damage on the front wing. The front wing obviously taking a pretty big hit there. He's on the medium tyres, so he might stay out though, because that damage, it's not the worst damage that we've seen before. Yeah, it's certainly unfortunate nonetheless. It's Fernandez under threat from Zenomar, who gets right up ahead, just surviving a puncture in the final race. In the last race. If you haven't seen it already, I highly recommend you check it out, because that was Carnage Fest. Absolute Carnage Fest. As Ultra is obviously P1, he's kept that lead the whole race, as Wallace now fallen 1.4 seconds behind, and he's a further 1.2 from Sorokera. As Bridgehouse like going down the inside of Parabolica, and he's gonna look to take the final podium space, and he does do it. He's up through a P3, but how long will this one last? And he's approaching Wallace down the straight in towards the first chicane, which is the first corner. As BDS goes very wide there, just obviously giving Sorokera the room, but Sorokera cannot make use of it for now. He's got to try and use the slipstream to pull himself through and ahead. As Versio and UK Ball, they're fighting. UK Ball's been dropped by Versio, as Versio also gets ahead of Fernandez, as also going to look to get a move on Omar. Down the inside at the chicane, they are almost hitting each other. They might have bumped wheels there, but Omar stays ahead of the Alfa Romeo, who is in a quicker vehicle. And now Tom Leon's under threat from the Koenigsegg and the Alfa behind. So I'm going to go riding on board with Zed Omar into the Ascari chicane. And that is Leon, who went very wide there. Omar getting a track on this one, but Leon didn't. That's a little bit questionable, FIA. Very, very questionable. Now towards Parabolica, Versio. On the inside, he gets through ahead of Omar and is looking to try and get Tom Leon. As UK Ball defends position from Fernandez. On board with the Brazilian driver, who's very promising, as you might have been able to tell so far. Down the inside, oh no, he couldn't do it, because that was Omar going for an absolute send, stopping Versio from making the move he was going to do, and he got 2 overtakes in one there. What a maneuver, as the Indonesian driver has absolutely caught them by surprise. That was one hell of a move. Get in there. Just further back down the grid, Nick Leon is struggling. He's got a puncture. There's a puncture to the rear right tyre. What has happened to this man, as he's now going to tumble to last place, as going to go on board with Jonathan Sim. He's going to get ahead of him easily, as Wallace has broke track limits again. It's a third warning for him, one more, and that's a penalty. Same thing for Versio, so Alphas are really pushing the track limits too much. Ocampo on a second warning already. Going to go on board with the two-time champion, the champion of 2013 and 2014. Around the final corner of Parabolica, DRS will be enabled. There it is, as DRS, and he's going to pull over to the inside. UK Ball through up into P8. The softs have carried him quite a long way, which I think means a soft medium is a possible strategy. Just you have to probably put the softs around lap 5 if you want this to work out. That's my predictions. Yeah, there's a pretty big gap from Ultra Wallace and a pretty big gap from Wallace to Sarah. But yeah, it's nice to see Alpha with some good pace considering they used to be such a dominant team back in the very beginning of Formula 1. Now look at them here in 2018. They're actually doing pretty well. They've had a race lead. They're not going to race win, but they've had a podium and a race lead so far in their return to the sport as 2 warnings for Ultra. But I feel like even if he does get a 5-second penalty, he's going to be fine. Sergio gets a penalty. He's got a penalty, and that is not good. As third sector yellow flags are out. Why is this? We may not know, but something has happened to someone. As someone of the pit is Nick Leon, who's only just has he only just got to the end of the track? I don't know, but Wallace has closed in a lot of time there on Ultra, so there's possible loss of pace for the champion. I mean, the former championship leader. Actually, no, it's not. It was just the time of the corners come up to it. Oh, as the frame rate dies, Ultra hits the wall. That sounded like a different word. Pardon my French here. And I feel bad if you don't understand what that means. Okay, we ignore what's just happened there. And the random frame rate death. I don't understand why the frame rate died at all. That was pretty unusual. Once again, I'm recording at a lower battery. And yeah, Ultra, I would imagine, is going to pit this lap. Grigorov could easily pit this lap as well. Renault probably best off doing a double stack. But the gap for it as Ultra pits. Donald Benedetto confirmed to go to Mercedes next season, replacing Tom Leon. Yeah, he's just wanted to receive a penalty. It's not going to look good on him. As Wallace enters pits to fit the hards. And he's going to really slow down Omar there. As Omar still heading to his box. But yeah, they keep with Goravel down Dragons. Same thing for UK Ball. Yeah, another team name mistake. But UK Ball there, finding some traction on the outside of the track, and he's gonna get through up in a P1. Of course, it's only an on-track thing. As UK Ball hit the wall, Grigorov flying! The championship leader is out of the race, and he went flying with UK Ball. I'm lost for words there. The 2-time champions of the grid are both out of this race after coming together at the wall. I'm gonna personally put that one on UK Ball because he went for an overly ambitious move. Then it ended up resulting in them making contact, and they just absolutely got sent flying. As the virtual safety car's out, that is completely damaging for Grigorov in this World Championship. Because he just took the championship lead. This is his last season where realistically he could get it, unless some miracle happens next season with the midfield car that will be the Renault he's driving in. Of course, he's already confirmed that will be his final season, 2019. So yeah, this is completely damaging to his chances at the title. Adversio's gonna absolutely love this because he hadn't had to spend as much time driving on these tyres. So because yeah, everyone was neutralised, so he's not going to lose time under VSC. Well, he would have if there was no VSC, so he's just saved himself a bit of time there. And it's actually going on to mediums again because he clearly thinks the softs are not going to be good enough. As in the pits as well is Carlos Fernandez, Ravo. Ravo was one in the pits. Just leaving the pit lane now as the Volkswagen of the Benedetto is going to pass by. Of course, the penalty that he did have would have really hurt him. He would have been warning the points as Brule's 5-second time penalty as Nick Leon is getting lapped right now as we speak. Yeah, that's why he is so slow. As there goes Revo, I think. Yeah, Revo. Yeah, it's a very bad day for Nick Leon. At this point, actually, may as well just retire the car. Retire the car, though, bro. As Ultra actually has a warning. No, not a warning. Yeah, well, he does. But I did not notice that he has a penalty. Is that Baroness in a legitimate position? No, he's not. Baroness has stayed out on these tyres. I keep forgetting I can see tire range as well alongside. As Lloyd St. Maxwell gets a 5-second time penalty. Track limits seem to be a pretty big issue, though. Here in Monza, Versio stuck on the back of slower vehicles, and he's gonna go down the inside of Van Horn. That is one Toyota cleared, and he's gonna get the other Toyota. And there we go. That's both Toyotas now gone. For now though, because Van Horn has took the inside line, and he's right alongside Versio. We're gonna head towards the first corner now. He's gonna send it. He's sending off Versio. Ocampo's gonna track him this morning. They're still side by side. Who will claim P12 here? Can Versio finally pull ahead? He will. He pulls ahead. As it looked like Van Horn stuck in the dirt. Yeah, the driver's ahead. They're gonna stay on board with the Dutchman. But St. Maxwell gets alongside Van Horn. And that might be Van Horn down P14. It looks like it could be, unless you can get something done here at the top, in the top two corners. I think they'll Lesmo. I really can't remember. That might be Imola. I'm really not sure. But there we are for DRS. Sierra is overtaken. He's in a much slower Lamborghini right now. But Ultra's got it all to do here. As Van Horn gets a penalty, yeah, he has everything to do here. He needs to try and pull out a 5-second gap. As Sierra, another penalty for him. As he is not having a good day. This is definitely hurting him in the title fight. As Sonic can't discount him for the fight. He's now up in the P3. And with this could be a very strong result for Dragon. If he keeps these strong results up, he could see himself in this title fight sometime. As Zen Omar gets a track limit warning there. I mean, penalty, sorry. He's in P6, and he's not going to benefit from those who have the penalty right now because, well, he has the penalty himself. What he may benefit is Tom Leon if he just picks up the pace a bit more. But tyres will hopefully let him do this because the mediums are going to start to wear out. He's one of the ones running the hard tyre, which obviously is going to be a lot better for drivers towards the end of this race. Is Nick Leon leaving the hit lane now? See on serial P20, it's obviously not accurate of Nick Leon. And you see, he's on lap 8. And he's saying Ultra's on lap 9. I don't know if you saw that lap counter, but yeah, it did say lap 8 for Nick Leon. As Tom Leon and Versio both picking up penalties. Penalties are really getting done here. Now, were these for previous track limit violations, or are these literally just ones that are happening right now? Well, we may never know, but there's a whole bunch of penalties getting given out for these drivers here. Save gets a third warning, putting him at risk. But one driver who's definitely risk is Ultra, like I've already said prior. I'm saying that word too much now. I'm gonna stop. Wallace, if he can just keep within 5 seconds, he could see himself winning this GP. Ultra obviously under threat with his tyres as well starting to wear out. He's got 3 more laps to go after this one, so he's gonna be scared without a doubt. Like, nothing you could really do there. He's definitely gonna be scared of the Volkswagen of Dominic Di Benedetto has pit and he rejoins the track in P18 on fresh soft tyres. Could this be a possible fast lap attempt that Volkswagen are going to go for? Just try and take it off Ultra, although there is no point for it. It just adds to your stats. And also, update with Ultra and Wallace. As it stands, Wallace will still compete too. Of course, he's going to drop below 5 seconds. I mean, drop above, rise above 5 seconds, above 5 seconds by the time. It's on the straight. 4.7, maybe not actually. I think the medium just starting to get to him. As David Saracera pits, Cezanne Omar also pits. What about anyone else? Ocampo stays out. As Versio is going to look to try and get up ahead of the Williams, and he does that with ease. As Fernandez also does the same. Of course, Tifosi will be loving this. They will not be loving the flashbacks of 2013, no, which was an absolute disaster for Ferrari in the final stages. If you have not watched that race, I highly recommend you check it out, and you'll be able to see the average Ferrari day in Monza. As I was Sebastian Cabo fighting with Versio, and that was some pretty good wheel-to-wheel action. Daniel Bogsarov currently on track to finish P4 in this race, but I don't think his tyres can withstand the distance left in the Grand Prix, which is obviously a very unfortunate thing for the Frenchman, who is going to start to just try and make up some moves. And if you can do that, that would be good in trying to solidify a P4 result, because he's going to soon fall 5 seconds away from Versio, who could still theoretically get the P4 here, as there's 2 laps to go, including this one, for our race leader Ultra Bro, as Wallace is nowhere to be seen at this stage. Ultra just has to be careful now, 36% on his tyres. So yeah, anything could eliminate him from this race, as Babinus gets a penalty. Where is Babinus? He's on P16. It's obviously a very bad day for Dacia, you can tell there. The track limits for MP4. He is now on 2 warnings before a penalty comes in. And I don't know if you noticed this or not, but Wallace is definitely closing on Ultra Bro. Plus the 5 second penalty has been lurking with the Australian for ages now at this stage. And just Ledger Sonic, he just needs to be careful as well, because he's got a P3 on the cards. If you can secure a P3, that's going to be good, and try to close in on some people like Gregorov and Sakiera. Especially Gregorov in this case, because of the DNF that Gregorov has had to suffer. But I swear, if Renault get a disaster class again, this is not going to be good. As Babinus into the wall, dropping P15, and yeah, he's got damage to the front wing. Round the final corner, 27% of the tyres, M4's hit the wall as well. The tyres are giving in now. Yeah, there's no hope anymore for these tyres. So head down the back straight, 26% for the former championship leader, who is definitely going to struggle on this final lap. But all he's got to do is just lock in and focus. Wallace has also got all to do as well to try and stay in 5 seconds. But that might be a pretty difficult task, especially if Ultra is able to get around this corner. He'll go on board with the Aussie, who gets around it. He's got around the corner, but oh, there's literally no grip. As well as he hits the wall, he managed to hit the wall, and he's got a 5 second penalty to go along with it. And like that's like, oh, he's out! He's out of the race on the final lap! And that is absolutely crushing. Completely. He's been hydraulic pressed by that. And out of nowhere, could Bogsarov sneak himself onto the podium places? If he could do that, that would be incredible for Williams. As the VSC ends, going green again. Green flags have been waved and we're now racing again. And this race was chaos. And Bogsarov, he's holding on. He is very much holding on. And he's going to try to get ahead. Sim has a penalty. Yellow flags at the back, but we can't look at it now because Ultra wins the Italian Grand Prix. The penalty does not matter. He would have finished 5 seconds ahead anyways. Even if Wallace didn't have a penalty, he'd still be P2. As Versio, it's only on track by the looks of things. We'll have to find out. We're going to await the official standings as Versio gets P3 on the road. Can Bogsarov stay in 5 seconds on Versio? Has he done it or not? No, he's just missed out. Only just. Oh, pain. Absolute pain. Williams avoid the podium, which is obviously not what you want to do in a Formula 1 race. Just got a feel for the Frenchman so close to a podium. As Nick Gunn finishes 1 lap down. I cannot express how much I feel bad for Bogsarov. But this has got to be Alfa Romeo's most successful race in F1 Classic. 2nd and 3rd. Now that was one hell of a result. ultra race winner, but that is overshadowed by Wallace and Theo, who've got the P2 and P3, and that is very much going to help them in the constructor standings. So with that, let's listen to the Australian national anthem. So with that, Ultra wins the Grand Prix from Wallace, Theo, Daniel Baltzarov, Ocampo, Fernandez, Leon, Revo, Cerqueira, Van Horn, Omar, St. Maximin, Don Benedetto, Barbara, Sierra, Sim, and before Brules, Nick Leon, and then the retirements were from Blade Sonic, New Cable. Oh, I have so much emotions after that race. It was incredible. BDS, though, you gotta feel bad for the man and for Baltzarov. BDS just missed out on a podium, which would have put him right, possibly in title contention. And Baltzarov so close, but so far from that podium. But yeah, that was it for your Italian GP. We'll see you next time when F1 Classic returns in Jerez.